Simon Nessman, Henry Cavill, and Adam Sandler. Which one do you think has the biggest sex appeal? You probably chose Henry, just like British Glamour magazine did back in 2013. But here's the twist. Out of the three, he's neither the richest, the most famous, nor conventionally the most attractive. What's going on here? What you're witnessing is the impact of what psychologists and sociologists call short-term sexual market value, a dynamic, situational, and often surprising mix of factors that influence who gets attention, admiration, and attraction in a given moment. For men, this value is shaped differently than for women. And here's the harsh truth. The only element on that list that you can't control or improve is your age. Everything else is up for grabs, including, and especially, the intangible stuff that makes the difference. Let's begin with the most influential piece of the puzzle: game and personality. Together, they make up a staggering 39% of a man's sex appeal. That means nearly half of what makes someone desirable is not about looks or money, but about how you interact with the world, and few exemplify this better than Hugh Hefner. Up until his late 20s, Hefner was far from the confident mogul you probably imagine. He was shy, awkward, and his face wasn't exactly symmetrical. But he mastered a kind of communication that was inclusive, dreamy, and magnetic. Instead of complimenting a woman directly, "You're beautiful," he'd say something like, "We'd look incredible together, wouldn't we?" That subtle shift from you to we positioned him not just as an admirer, but as a co-creator of a shared fantasy. That shift helped launch Playboy, made him a millionaire, and placed him among the most influential cultural figures of his time. What's interesting is that his approach aligns perfectly with the charmer archetype described in Robert Greene's The Art of Seduction. Greene outlines 9 seductive archetypes, each rooted in different personality traits. Finding your own archetype can help you seduce in a way that feels natural and powerful. The charmer makes others feel special, safe, and included, exactly like Hefner did. Then there's the natural, who uses innocence and playfulness to seduce. With this style, you might follow the 25% rule. Start with teasing and playful banter, then transition to deeper, meaningful conversation before ending lightheartedly. This structure fosters an emotional arc that feels genuine and flirtatious. The ideal lover thrives on fantasy and desire, like Giovanni Casanova, considered the most dangerous seducer in history. He had a habit of complimenting people on the very traits they were insecure about, turning shame into pride. Imagine a girl with new braces. Instead of ignoring them, he'd compliment her radiant smile. Then there's the charismatic. These are visionaries, confident, and speak with a sense of destiny. If this resonates with you, ditch filler words. Speak boldly, and instead of saying if, say when. That subtle shift makes your confidence contagious. The dandy archetype rejects gender norms and plays with appearance. If this is you, lean into style. Think flare jeans, loafers, and silhouettes that blur lines in elegant ways. Then there's the rake, reckless, intense, passionate. But beware, constant adoration gets dull fast. Instead, offer small, unpredictable compliments. Studies show unpredictable rewards are more addictive than predictable ones, like a slot machine that pays off just enough to keep you hooked. And then there's the coquette, cold, elusive, and addictive. They withhold affection to spark desire. If you use this strategy, the Zeigarnik effect is your best friend. People remember unfinished things more than completed ones. So start an emotional conversation, end it abruptly, and disappear for a while. That emotional cliffhanger, it lingers. Of course, not everyone fits neatly into a category. Some of the rarest seducers are the siren, a female exclusive archetype, and the star, who seduces through mystery, uniqueness, and presence. Regardless of type, personality alone isn't enough. You still need looks, which account for 35% of your desirability in the dating world. And when we say looks, we're not just talking about being born handsome. Dr. Gordon Gallup's 2020 study shed light on this. Researchers edited pictures of men to appear either 30% more feminine or 30% more masculine. Beards were added or removed. The most attractive results? Masculinized faces with beards. You don't have to be born with a chiseled jawline. You can frame your face with facial hair, and if growing a beard naturally is tough, try minoxidil. It's especially helpful for guys with softer jawlines. But don't stop there. Match your beard style to your face shape for maximum impact. Then there's the body. Evolutionarily speaking, broad shoulders and a slim waist signal strength and health. The so-called androgenic muscle structure, built through training your deltoids, traps, and chest, triggers an instinctive attraction. But there's one element most people ignore: pheromones. These are chemical signals your body emits that influence attraction on a subconscious level. Sadly, most of us sabotage them. We spray cologne directly on pheromone-rich zones like our neck or armpits, masking our natural scent. To enhance both natural and synthetic scent, apply cologne to your wrists or your clothing instead. And yes, you can increase natural pheromone levels. Eat citrus fruits, green vegetables, and avoid overly processed foods. Your scent is shaped by what you consume, and your attractiveness is shaped by what your scent communicates. Then comes the final layer: status and resources. This category accounts for 19% of sexual market value. It's tempting to assume this is all about money. And yes, financial wealth matters. But it's not the whole story. History shows us that charisma, courage, and contribution can build status without a dollar in the bank. Case in point, Giuseppe Garibaldi. In 1834, Italy, Garibaldi, a poorly educated sailor, was sentenced to death for his role in a political uprising. He fled to South America with little more than desperation and a cause. There, he joined revolutionary forces in Brazil and Uruguay, fighting against imperial regimes. Over time, his reputation grew. He was a warrior, a rebel, a symbol of freedom. 12 years later, when revolution broke out again in Italy, he returned, now a living legend. He wasn't rich, he wasn't particularly handsome, but his unwavering purpose and courage made him irresistible. Women across Italy idolized him. Letters poured in. Declarations of love arrived by the hundreds. He had become a symbol of romantic resistance. What Garibaldi teaches us is that respect and admiration can be more seductive than money. A man who stands for something, who risks, fights, and stays true to a cause, commands attention that wealth alone can't buy. And while you don't need to fight wars to earn status, you do need to understand that being respected is magnetic. Respect isn't loud, it's not flashy. It's the quiet confidence of someone who walks their talk, who delivers on promises, who stands firm in chaos. That's the kind of man people remember. So how do you blend these three dimensions, personality, looks, and status, into something magnetic? Start by aligning your self-presentation with who you want to become. Practice one of the seductive archetypes until it becomes effortless. Sharpen your physical presence not just with gym time, but with grooming, scent, and style. Build your reputation in small circles first. In your friend group, at work, in your community. Be someone others want to speak about when you're not in the room. Seduction, after all, isn't just about romantic pursuit. It's about influence, presence, power. When you walk into a room, do people turn? Do they lean in when you speak? Do they listen when you pause? These are the questions that matter. The true secret to sex appeal is understanding that desire is built at the intersection of mystery and familiarity, power and kindness, beauty and authenticity. Your sexual market value isn't fixed, it's fluid. And the good news? You're not stuck with the hand you're dealt. You can grow into the version of yourself that people can't stop thinking about. Because the science behind increasing sex appeal is ultimately the science of becoming deeply, unapologetically human, powerful, present, and uniquely you. And that's where most people stop. They chase appearance, memorize pickup lines, or save money thinking status will magically unlock attraction. But real sex appeal is layered, like a carefully constructed symphony. The notes of your presence must harmonize, not just physically or socially, but psychologically. What people are truly drawn to is emotional experience. They remember how you made them feel. That's why a witty joke lingers longer than a perfect haircut, and why confidence in conversation can overshadow even the most luxurious outfit. Your energy, your pace, your tone, your pauses, they compose an emotional rhythm. And that rhythm is what people find seductive without realizing why. Let's go deeper. True charisma, the kind that pulls people in without effort, often comes from congruence. When your words, body language, and intentions all align, you radiate authenticity. This is why someone with average looks can command a room and leave people wanting more. It's not magic, it's biology and psychology working together. Micro-expressions, eye contact, vocal resonance, spatial awareness, all of these send subconscious signals that you're either in control or seeking approval. One of them builds attraction, the other kills it instantly. Confidence isn't just about walking tall or speaking loudly. It's about owning silence. Think of the people you admire, how they hold pauses, how they smile after speaking, not before. These tiny cues shape perception. Silence isn't awkward when it comes from certainty. In fact, it becomes seductive. It allows space for tension. And tension is the playground of desire. But none of this works without emotional intelligence, knowing when to lead and when to listen. Understanding that attraction isn't one size fits all. You have to be adaptable. A seducer reads the room, notices shifts in mood, mirrors body language subtly. They use emotional contrast, taking someone from laughter to sincerity, from surprise to safety. That movement between emotions creates intimacy. And intimacy, not intensity, is what builds lasting attraction. Let's talk about storytelling. Every conversation is an audition. The way you talk about your life tells others how to feel about you. If your stories frame you as a victim, they'll see weakness. If your stories highlight growth, courage, or curiosity, you become magnetic. Your past isn't your prison. It's your screenplay. Learn to tell it in a way that earns respect, not sympathy. And never forget, storytelling isn't just verbal. Your wardrobe tells a story. So does your walk. So does the way you treat a waiter. Then there's voice, a massively underrated part of sex appeal. Research has shown that people with slightly lower, smoother voices are often rated as more attractive. But it's not just pitch. It's cadence, breath control, emphasis. When you speak with intentionality, when each word feels chosen, people listen differently. Slow down, eliminate fillers, practice vocal modulation. It can make a world of difference. Now let's return to status, not the wealth kind, but social proof. The idea that others find you valuable increases your desirability. This is why some people become more attractive when you see them with others who admire them. It's called the pre-selection effect. So how do you cultivate this without faking it? Be genuinely respected in small communities. Be known for something. Skill, insight, generosity, leadership. Any of these can generate social gravity. When people speak well of you in your absence, your presence becomes more powerful. Another critical component is self-control. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, restraint is sexy. The ability to delay gratification, to stay calm, measured, and disciplined, signals strength. People sense when you're not swayed by external chaos. It creates the perception of inner abundance. You're not chasing validation, you're creating gravity. That's irresistible. And don't forget mystery. In the age of oversharing, mystery is oxygen. Don't tell everything. Don't explain every move. Let some questions hang. Mystery creates tension, and tension creates desire. When you reveal everything too soon, you collapse intrigue. Let people earn access to the layers of your personality. Make them feel chosen, not entitled. Fashion plays a powerful yet misunderstood role in this dynamic. It's not about trends, it's about narrative. Your clothes should tell people who you are before you speak. Are you dangerous, sophisticated, playful, stoic? Don't just wear clothes, craft a persona. The combination of color, fit, and texture becomes a silent statement of intent. Subtle luxury, like a perfect watch, a tailored jacket, or a signature scent, speaks volumes about self-respect and identity. People notice, even if they don't comment. And now we arrive at the deepest layer of sex appeal, self-possession. The internal stability that says, I know who I am, I know what I value, and I don't need permission to take up space. It's not arrogance. It's not bravado. It's grounded certainty. And it's rare. Most people are constantly negotiating their worth with the world around them. The truly seductive have already made peace with themselves. That peace creates presence, and presence is what leaves a mark long after you've left the room. When you operate from a foundation of self-respect, everything changes. You stop tolerating mediocre conversations. You stop chasing people who treat you like a backup plan. You raise your standards, not out of ego, but out of clarity. You move differently. You speak with purpose. You laugh more, not because everything's funny, but because you're relaxed. You've got nothing to prove. And that energy? That's what draws people in. So the next time you wonder why someone with less money, less fame, and fewer followers seems to effortlessly attract others, remember this. Attraction isn't always logical. It's not a checklist. It's a feeling. And that feeling is crafted through layers. Your words, your tone, your posture, your purpose, your rhythm, your mystery. When they align, when they sing together without effort, you become unforgettable. And perhaps the greatest paradox of sex appeal is this. The moment you stop trying to impress others and start focusing on alignment, you become more impressive. The moment you stop craving approval and start cultivating presence, you become more attractive. Because the secret is never in the other person's gaze. It's in your own. Because in the end, sex appeal is not a performance. It's not a mask you wear or a script you memorize. It's an energy, cultivated, refined, and projected. And that energy starts with clarity. Clarity of purpose, clarity of presence, clarity of desire. When you walk into a room knowing exactly who you are and what you bring, without needing anyone to confirm it, people feel that. They sense certainty, and certainty is magnetic. But let's take it further. Seduction is not just about you being desirable. It's about how you make others feel desirable in your presence. That's the true superpower. Most people are so absorbed in trying to be impressive that they forget. People don't remember what impressed them. They remember who made them feel seen, heard, and significant. Make others feel fascinating. Not because you're trying to manipulate, but because you're genuinely curious. Ask better questions. Listen not just with attention, but with presence. Respond not with the need to speak, but with the intent to connect. That shift changes everything. Now add spontaneity. Predictability is the enemy of desire. The human brain is wired to crave stimulation, variation, unpredictability, contrast. Be the person who doesn't follow a script, who adds something unexpected, a compliment in the middle of a serious talk, a deep question during playful banter. Make people feel like every interaction with you might reveal a new side. That unpredictability becomes a pattern people can't quit. Another layer: boundaries. Not the loud, confrontational kind, but the calm, consistent kind. When people know you have standards, that you don't overextend, that you're not available to everyone at all times, your attention becomes more valuable. Exclusivity breeds desire. Being too accessible dilutes your impact. This doesn't mean being cold, it means being deliberate. Not everyone gets access to all of you. And those who do, they feel chosen. And let's not forget humor. Not the performative kind, the deeply human kind. Humor that's rooted in perspective, not neediness. When you can laugh at yourself without diminishing your presence, when you can disarm tension with a well-timed remark, you build warmth. People let their guard down. That's where intimacy starts. And in a world that often feels tense and disconnected, the ability to make someone smile, truly smile, is a rare form of seduction. But this goes beyond relationships. Sex appeal influences business, leadership, negotiation, and influence. It's not just about attraction, it's about gravity. When you combine emotional intelligence, expressive control, and self-respect, you develop an aura that draws people in, whether you're pitching an idea, walking into a boardroom, or sitting across from someone on a date. The mechanics are the same: tension, authenticity, storytelling, confidence, mystery, and emotional fluency. When you have those, you don't chase opportunities. They come to you. There's one final principle, perhaps the most powerful one of all: detachment. Not from people, but from outcome. When you desire without clinging, connect without demanding, offer without expecting, you free yourself from the fear of rejection. And that freedom? It's exhilarating to be around. People are drawn to those who want, but don't need, who give attention, but don't beg for it, who can walk away, not out of arrogance, but because they trust their value. Detachment isn't about apathy, it's about peace, and peace is the sexiest trait of all. So let's put it all together. You're not just improving your looks, you're shaping your energy. You're not just learning lines, you're learning rhythm. You're not just dressing better, you're dressing with purpose. You're not just reading archetypes, you're finding your natural language of seduction. You're not just upgrading your body, you're refining your awareness. You're not just building confidence, you're building presence. You're not just trying to impress, you're learning to inspire curiosity, tension, safety, and spark, all at once. And if this sounds like a lot, it's because it is. But mastery is layered, and most people settle for surface-level charm when they could become unforgettable. Most people wait for someone to choose them, rather than becoming the person others hope to be chosen by. And here's your invitation to shift that. Start with one thing. Maybe it's posture, or vocal control, or silence, or your scent. Pick one layer, master it, then move to the next. Compound the momentum. This is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the version of yourself who has stopped hiding. The version who knows they don't need to be perfect, only present, purposeful, and unapologetically alive. And if there's one final thought to leave with you, it's this. The most magnetic people aren't trying to be magnetic. They're simply connected to themselves, to the moment, to their deeper truth. They're not performing, they're inviting, not chasing, creating, not shouting, resonating. And in that resonance, they build desire, not with tricks or tactics, but with a quiet power that says, I know who I am, I like who I am, and I have nothing to prove. That is the science behind sex appeal, and that is the art of becoming unforgettable.